So, a warm welcome, namaste, to a very special session on geriatric care and palliative care. These are, I think, quite important, largely because though we may be aware of geriatric care, elderly care, we may not really understand the nuances of it, the tiny, little things of it. Palliative care, on the other hand, may be a new concept for many. So it could be a great awareness session on these topics. Before we kind of deep dive in these topics, we are going to have a quick introduction of WICCI, the key organizer of this session. So first of all, hi, I am Aziel Marquez. I am the National President of the Council, WICCI Equitable Parenting, and I'm also the founder of GPS for Parents. So I myself forgot the venture. Yeah, GPS for Parents. So yeah, it's quite great to see many of you all joining in. Some old faces, some quite a new faces that have joined in today. So warm welcome to each and every one of you. I'll be sharing my screen right now. So just please tell me if you can see my screen or no. I hope my screen is visible.
Yes.
Yes, great. So we are not only going to be talking today about what geriatric care or palliative care is, but what are the steps, what are those toolkits that you can use in your day-to-day life to make your lives better, to make the people under your care, their lives better. So now coming to WICCI. What's WICCI? WICCI stands for WICCI, Women's Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry. It is a national and actually even an international organization with women across India and the globe that have come together to support the community. It is a non-religious and non-political and a completely voluntary organization. So there are quite a few council members that have women experts that have joined in to support the community with respect to their expertise. Our council name is Equitable Parenting Council. So here we are aiming, working relentlessly to ensure that there is equity in parenting, where both the father and the mother are kind of taking up responsibilities in their child's development and their child's care, also ensuring that they are involved in the entire family dynamics. As a part to make this Equitable Parenting Council lively and active, and also to ensure the impact reaches to its masses, we have an amazing team. We have an amazing team of the council members from across India, from medical field, from legal field, education, counseling field, who are here to support each one of you. So I'll just share a quick video of our council members. Dr. Arvind is a founder of WICCI Equitable Parenting Council. This is me, Aziel Marquez. Together also Vice President. council members who are relentless. So, as I said, we do voluntary basis over here, and almost every week we have one or two sessions that we conduct. Apart from that, we do also physical sessions and activities. So, I would like to thank all my council members for giving your whole heart, mind, soul into the working, into empowering parents through this initiative. So thank you so much. In the past 2 years, we have conducted more than almost, I think, 90 sessions, not only 85, but I think we have crossed 90. And the current focus is elderly. So we have been doing a lot of sessions from the past 1 2 months with respect to aging with grace, about elderly managing their money, about elder abuse. Then we had about menopausal stage, uh, eye health and care, about dementia, about physiotherapy. I don't know, for some reason this image cannot be seen. About waste management. So quite a few sessions have been conducted with a focus for the elderly. Why elderly? Because elderly are the foundation of a family. They are mainly parents, grandparents. So it is important that the elderly also are well taken care of. They understand, and plus they themselves, because there are too many things changing in them, it is important that they are aware about the changes in their body, in the social dynamics, in the financial dynamics, and the kind. So we have been focusing on elderly, and today's session is particularly is a part of this initiative. We have Dr. Armida Fernandez. Before I get into the professional aspect of Dr. Armida, I think I would like to share with each one of y'all that Dr. Armida has been with us from day one. She was the chief guest of our launch of WICCI Equitable Parenting Council almost 2 years back. And I still remember, first of all, within a call, she agreed to come to be a part of the initiative. Second, it was 26th July, uh, and that day was there were heavy floods in Mumbai. Everything was standstill. Yet Dr. Armida and the second chief guest, Justice Roshan Dalvi, they both reached first in the premises. There were many who we had invited, and they kind of backed out for obvious reason, for safety reason. But Dr. Armida was out there. So you can imagine how resilient uh, a lady she is. And more than, along with resilience, I think the kind of love, the the love that just comes out, outshines from her and is remarkable. And I would like to say, we love you. Not only I, but I think all the council members who were present. I'll show a quick video of the launch. I think we all savor the moment we met you that day. It was quite a memorable moment. So I'll just take a second to show that launch glimpse, because it's a huge thing for us. Uh, the past 2 years that have been starting from the launch period. The launch, the start, it's almost 2 minutes. It's also invite and actual celebration that we had. From then on, we have been doing back-to-back sessions, trying to support the family, support the parents per se. So thank you, Dr. Armida, for being with us right from day one, being that strong woman, always supportive, always with a smile, saying, yes, let's do it. So, yes, we love you in like this. Now coming to your professional expertise, I will now again come back to the slide. Yes, I hope the slide is visible. So Dr. Armida Fernandez, MD, DCH, FIAP, FNNP are all the educational qualifications that ma'am has. A visionary neonatologist. So a neonatologist is a medical doctor who specializes in the care of infant, especially in high risk situation, early birth. They are the ones who give the maximum support to the infant. She's a social reformer and a compassionate healer. Dr. Armida Fernandez is the retired professor and head of neonatology and former dean of LTMG Hospital and LTMMC Sion, Mumbai. She has also served as the director of Holy Family Hospital in Mumbai. A pioneer in a field, Dr. Fernandez established India's first human milk bank at Sion Hospital in 1989, a life-saving initiative that continues to inspire similar efforts across the nation. She is the founder of SNEHA, the Society for Nutrition, Education, and Health Action, and an organization transforming the health and dignity of women and children in Mumbai's urban slums, and the founder of the Romila Palliative Care Center, which offers compassionate care to those with life-limiting illnesses. Her special interests include low-cost neonatal technologies, breastfeeding, and human milk banking, and addressing health, nutrition, and violence, and women and children of the urban poor, as well as advancing palliative care. So thank you so much, Dr. Armida, for accepting our invitation. So the first part, sorry for not stating earlier, the first part we are focusing on geriatric care, which Dr. Armida will be sharing with us expertise. And then I will proceed with Dr. Prakash's formal introduction, and then we'll have the palliative care. So now handing over to Dr. Armida.
Hi, good evening.
In the spotlight so that everyone can see you. Yes.
Good evening, everybody. With that introduction, it makes me really nervous. AJL, first of all, hats off to you and to the whole initiative, WICCI initiative. I'm looking at all the women and the innovations they have and what all they've added. And look at 90 sessions that you've had. So hats off to what you all are doing. And I call it really the women power. And it's many, many people who do not many people who do what you all are doing. So hats off to you all. Continue the good work and spread the word. You know what? As you can see, I looked after newborn babies, and now at the other end of the spectrum, the elderly. And I've seen that you'll have a whole lot of sessions for the elderly. So some may be repeated, so I'll try and make it short. But what I want to tell you, and why am I talking about the elderly, is that, first of all, that sooner or later, we are going to reach that age, that we are going to be at the elder people, and there are lots of things that we need to prevent as we grow older. The second is, I'm looking at many of you all have elders in the house. It could be your parents, your in-laws, your grandparents, whoever it is that you may be looking after and being caretakers of. So that is a role that many of you all might play. The third is, even if you're not playing the role, maybe you're volunteering. You have the elders around you. It may be a neighbor, someone in the neighborhood that you go and visit. And therefore, if you are doing what, you had this part of your life, or you're, looking after people around you, then there must be few tips that you have to look at when you are looking at the older people, and few tips you must remember as you grow older. So here is my talk on care of the elder and the homebound. So I think that what we must remember is that these are the sayings that one has to laugh. One, as you grow older, remember, many of you, many of you will reach not 70s, 80s, but 90s and 100s. So one advantage of being 102, and there are many people who are 100 that I know today, there is no peer pressure. So you're not competing with each other. The second and very important thing is that if you're healthy, your age doesn't really matter. How old are you? Your age is just a number. You are as old as you feel and old as what you can do. So don't look at your age, see what you can do. So it's just a number that is attached. And the last and very important thing for all of you, the younger generation, if I knew I was going to live this long, I'd have taken better care of myself. So there are many things that you can prevent by looking at yourself when you're still young. Okay, can I have the next? So I've been a teacher for 30 odd years and I continue teaching. So I always give you little ways in which you can remember what you have to do. So I always say problems faced by the seniors are in pieces. So pieces is P-I-E-C-E-S. So you can remember it, you won't forget it. So what does P stand? Physical, I intellectual, E emotional, C are capabilities, E environment, and S social. So I'll quickly go through this one by one. We'll start with the physical. Now, when you talk about nutrition, you have nutrition that can prevent problems as you grow older and nutrition as once you are the older person. So, what is the nutrition? And this is so important for each and every one of you, and even for me. What is the type of food we should eat? And please remember, nutrition would be the first thing that you need to remember as you grow older. You must have sufficient proteins. And where do you get your proteins? You get your proteins if you're a non-vegetarian, eggs. The white of an egg is a high source of protein. One white egg white, two egg white gives you a big 7 grams of protein in one egg, a lot of protein. So that is another other source of protein. Fish protein, good for the brain. They give you free fatty acids, so it's good for your brain. So that's the source, and meats, of course. But white meats are better because red meats can cause problems. If you're not a non-vegetarian, of course, vegetarian food, the best source of protein really is milk. And there are some people who say, no, don't have milk. But for vegetarians, these are first class. Milk has what is called first class protein. So if you don't like milk, you can have yogurt, which is the high source of protein. Soya milk, it's not first class protein. Yes, it's a source of protein. But all your lentils, all your dals have proteins, and the sprouted beans that we have, what we make, matki and moong, and all sprouted has a good source. So this is protein. The second thing is that we have a lot of cereals. So if you have cereals, remember, don't have the whites of the cereal. So we are not talking of maidas and all. You have to have whole cereals. Rice is white. So red rice is much better. Whole cereals, wheat is better when you have it as atta, not as maida. So you have to have cereals, but less amount of cereals because it can cause more problems. So that is cereals. The third and important thing is fresh, lots of salads and fruits. Green leafy vegetables and salads and fruits. That is a good source of nutrition. So look after your nutrition as you grow older. But as you grow older, remember you can have problems and dentures. Look at that. Hearing and vision are two things that as you grow older, and you have to look at it, and also you may need help. We're quite used to vision. No, you've got cataracts, you've got to treat it. But when you lose hearing, it's a big problem. As you grow older, you're sitting in a social environment, you can't hear the word. And the hearing devices have to be chosen carefully and made sure you know how to use it. And the last physical thing that I would say, as you grow on older, remember incontinence. You have incontinence is the most embarrassing thing. I know so many older people say, no, I don't go out because, I have this incontinence. I can't wait till I can rush to the toilet. And a simple answer is yes, find out the cause, treat the cause, but use diapers that allows you to travel, allows you to go to parties, allows you to go elsewhere. The second is, in the pieces is I. And I is intellectual. I know you've had talks on, I saw you had talks on dementia and Alzheimer's. I don't know, was it the same crowd that attended?
How my camera is on this Zoom
Uh,
meeting?
so not
Hello.
it was a mixed crowd. So
Slide.
quite a few new faces today. Yeah.
Okay. So in intellectual, you're looking at memory and you think you are forgetting. I want to tell you, as you grow older, this is one thing. I can't remember names. Oh my God, do I have dementia? That worries so much. Sometimes it's because you're stressed, you can't remember. Just relax. Take some time. The names can come back. So every time you forget something, oh my God, I've got dementia, that makes the matter worse. So you have to relax and see. When you really think you're losing memory is when oh God, you got up in the morning, have I had breakfast? Have I not had breakfast? I've got into a room, oh my God, I don't know why I have come here. If you say, I don't know where I keep my keys and I've got dementia, no, that's not true because you're always forgetting where you keep your keys, where you keep few things. But if you don't remember what you've eaten, you don't remember what you've done, you don't know why you've come here, then you are having problems with your memory. And of course, I forget words when you're talking, problems. I think judgment is one thing you might have been told, but as you grow older and if you're by yourself, you misjudge people. People come into the house, can take you for the ride, and you'll read the newspapers all the time. Our senior citizens are taken for the ride because they don't know whom to trust, whom not to trust. They have their money taken, so many taken. So judgment is an important thing that as you grow older, you have to be careful. And people who are looking after the elders in their house must look at this, are they trusting the wrong people? So that is I. Then we come to E. And E is emotional. And that is as you grow, and I'm sure many of you all, even if you're not told, these problems are so common in life. And you have, again, get angry, you're scared. I don't know what will happen tomorrow. I'm frustrated. And I think there are a whole lot of issues, but the two biggest problems as you grow older and even as you're not so old are two things are loneliness and depression. And remember, depression is not only of the elders. Depression is so common. I work in the slums through SNEHA, and we found out that 15 to 20% of our youth are depressed. And why are they depressed? Because what they have to face in life, there's so much, the studies, will I get a job, other issues. So depression is so common. And this is one message I want to give you about depression. Once they say, oh my God, you'll have to see a psychiatrist. How can I see a psychiatrist? People will think something is wrong with my head. No, just like brain is part of your body, just like you get physical illnesses, you can get dengue, you can get malaria, you can get high blood pressure, you can get diabetes. These are physical illnesses. But just like you have physical illnesses, your mind, your brain can also have mental illnesses. And just like physical illnesses can be treated and you can get cured, so also mental illnesses, anxiety, depression that is so common in the younger, older, middle age has to be diagnosed and treated. So you must remember seeing a psychiatrist is not because what they felt, oh, is she mad? Is she seeing a psychiatrist? It's not. It is because, like a physical illness, you can have a mental illness. And there are counselors that you can see who can listen and counsel. There are psychiatrists that if you need, that you will have to see. So remember, emotional problems that you can have. The next is the big problem of the elderly is loneliness. And loneliness is a common symptom of aging population. And I want to tell each and of you, all of you who are around here this evening, that sooner or later, if you can take preventive action so that you are not lonely as you can. So how can you prepare and prevent loneliness? So remember who will be around as you grow older. One is you will have family. Keep in touch with the family. Don't think that the family will come only when you're old or ill. Keep in touch. Get in touch with them. Invite them over. Be friends. Don't fight with your family because as you grow older, you need your family around. Don't expect them to suddenly turn over. So you can prevent loneliness by keep in touch with your family. Your second is your neighbors. You know what? We're all rushing through life. You're doing so many meetings. You're going here, there. You don't remember that you don't say hi. You say to the neighbor and forget about it. But as you grow older, you can't get out of the house. Suddenly you say, my neighbors don't even come and talk to me. You have to develop this. So keep in touch with your neighbors. And as you get older, we have to make sure that as individuals, as volunteers, as a community, we have to be all there for lonely people. And you know what? We had started in Bandra something called Connect and Care, where we reached out to the housebound people. So we visited them. We had volunteers to visit them, spend time with them, read to them, play music with them, play games with them. So these are the things that you can do as volunteers. And even when you are, if you are lonely, and this is what one of my neighbors does, she invites people over. Why don't you come and have a cup of tea? Why don't you have a meal? So when you invite people over, your loneliness is less. So that's what you must make sure that you keep yourself active. And what are the activities you can do? Say, I'm old, therefore I can't. Of course, you can do read novels, read stories that the type of books you like. You don't like read newspapers or dreadful. Sorry, I said read newspapers. Newspapers are most depressing. I would drop that. Sometimes only if you want to laugh, you can read global news and look at what Trump is doing today. That's enough. That's a comedy section for the a day. But you know what? You play word games. Puzzles that keeps your mind going. Puzzles, play cards that keeps you going. The second is physical exercise. All of you, I don't know. If I would have seen all your faces, put your hands up. How many of you all exercise? How many of you all go for a walk? How many? It's extremely important. You are attending meetings like this, great. But as you are attending, keep moving your legs. Do exercises on your hands. How many of you? Yoga is so Indian. It's so good not only for the body, it's also good for the mind. If you can meditate, great. I'm not all that, don't have that much, but yoga, yes, do yoga, some yoga, do exercise every day. And as you grow older and older, thank God there is something. Don't overdo. Media can be bad for you if you're continuously, for all the younger people, media is good. Use it when it's useful. Don't overdo media. Continuously on WhatsApp, continuously on, you are all the time trying. So cut down, do enough to keep. But as you grow older, you have things that can amuse you and keep you a little occupied. Then find moments as you grow older and learn it now so that your hands move, painting, crochet, knitting. And as far as you can outdoor, even if you're in a wheelchair, take people out, go take them for religious, some religious functions, go take to the park, yoga, laughing club. Have your leisure. That's one thing you can do is have, If you laugh, if you smile, if you make people laugh, that is something that will give you this. And of course, prayer and meditation. So that's about loneliness. What are the capabilities? See, as you grow older, can you do things for yourself? Dress up, go to the toilet, eat by yourself, then you are still in a good position. But as you grow older, sometimes you need help. And are there enough people in the family that can help? And sometimes activities are not possible. And then that's the time you're bedridden. And it becomes quite a for caregivers. I don't know how many of y'all have people at home that are homebound. Not possible. And it's not easy for caregivers. And therefore, if you need help, ask for help, and we'll talk about that, how caregivers can look after themselves. So that's the C of pieces. Environment. See, everyone, this is extremely important. We love granite. Waterfalls in the granite, you can slip and fall. The flow as you grow older, you should have good, those dim lights. It's okay once in a way if you're having a meal and you want a close meeting with someone, but there should be enough lighting at the door so you can see through the people who is coming to visit. So that should be proper lighting. Otherwise, you should have a big, that not a small hole, but a big, so that you can see the people who come to visit and don't open the door for anyone. So the front door, you must be careful, and you should have a safe and supportive environment. Toilets, many people as you grow older fall in the toilets. You slip and fall, and therefore you should have a non-slip floor and make sure that you have bars you can hold. And as you grow older, toilets should never be locked because many people fall and it's difficult to get them out. Yes. And finally, we come to the social economic part. So as you need a social environment, I want to tell you the story, not a story, but the study that was done in the United States. They found that some parts of the United States and the world, people lived longer and they were mentally and physically well. And they were wondering what made these people live 90s, 100, so many people over 100. Japan is one place. And they said, is it the diet? Yes, to some extent. But what else are they doing? Are they exercising? Are they doing yoga? And do you know that when they analyzed, they found the most important thing that helped people grow old and live longer was a social environment. And these people many people were visiting, they went out together, they had activities together, they did things together. So the social environment of people being together made all the difference to the longevity of your life. So it is not just being by yourself. If you see smaller families, but with neighbors, with friends, that social and cultural environment made them live longer. But on the other hand, isolation, no one around, no one coming to visit, neglect. And if you have a social environment, increase your social environment, keep in touch with the family. So many people are now fighting for the most things like money and property and all, and you don't talk to keep your family together. That helps you grow old together in a happy, environment. Your neighbors, your friends, and because I work a lot with the poor, economic insecurity is a very tough problem as you grow older. So remember to save for your old age. Don't sign off properties or make things to give it before you die. Will should be done. So once after your death, distribute your wealth. As long as you're alive, make sure you have enough for yourself. So this is the pieces part of it. And other health problems is As you grow older, the biggest culprit is if you have fall and break your leg, fracture of the femur, you've done a knee replacement, you've done a hip replacement, because of being invalid in bed for a long time, it increases the chances of dependence, it causes immobilization, increased depression. And if you're an old person, if you're in your 80s or as old, that after a hip fracture, they found that 20% of older people die because they are immobilized and have fractures. So be very careful of fractures. And the last, and I saw that you had a talk on this and that violence, and that a small percentage, at least that is what is reported, people have, experienced some maltreatment at home. Physical abuse, maybe less, but mental abuse, what they say to their parents, how they hurt their parents, what they say, that is, it's not just physical abuse, it can be mental abuse. And therefore, these are the other issues that patients face. And of course, as you grow older, they have a whole lot of diseases. Cancer put down, but it's not the commonest. The commonest problems as you grow older are stroke. Due to high blood pressure, diabetes, you get paralysis. You get that can be a big problem. Chronic lung and heart and kidney disease. Many people get kidney failure. Heart failure that you've gone a bypass, you've done, but despite that, then there's nothing. So you can have chronic heart disease, chronic lung disease, where thanks to the, when you breathe in Bombay, you're not breathing, you're actually inhaling smoke. Thanks to all that, all the problems that are around, our crackers, our automobiles, the building, all this is chronic lung disease. Dementia and Parkinson's are diseases that are increasing. And of course, cancer is another disease. So now I think, Izil, we'll hand it over to Prakash, who will talk about palliative care. That
Yes, Dr. Armida. So we'll take the questions now for geriatric care, or shall we
no, we'll
palliative
have the
care?
questions together. So
Okay,
please get all the questions together, and both of us then can answer.
great. So thank you so much, Dr. Armida. So if you have questions about the earlier presentation, please make a note of it, and we shall, towards the end, take care of those questions. So right now we will be moving ahead with the palliative care. I will not really go deep into palliative care because I myself do not know much about it, to be honest. So I will directly welcome Dr. Prakash Fernandes, and I'm also sharing my screen for the formal invite person. So, to be honest, this session on palliative care happened because Dr. Prakash actually did a session in our parish, and that's how I got to know about palliative care. And I was like, yes, we need to do it with WICCI as well. We cannot miss this opportunity. And especially since October 11th was the World Hospice and Palliative Care Day across the world. I think this is an amazing time to learn about, to understand about palliative care. So also spotlighting Dr. Prakash as well, so that you all can have a good look. So Dr. Prakash Fernandes. So Dr. Armida is a medical doctor. Dr. Prakash Fernandes is a post PhD doctorate still. He is the head of the National Palliative Care Partnerships at Cipla Foundation. He has over 25 years of experience in the space of social development, and in particular, he has been involved in using his social work and research skills to strengthen the service delivery, develop monitoring and evaluation plans of programs, and assist in the scaling up of services. In his current role, he is involved in building partnerships with academia, national and international NGOs, and government organizations to integrate palliative care services within the healthcare system. So, handing over to Dr. Prakash. And once again, thank you so much for accepting the invitation and, moreover, ensuring that everything is well coordinated and actually spearheading today's event in short. So, thank you so much. And the platform is all yours.
No. Thank you so much, Azil. And it's really great to have opportunities to talk about palliative care, which I think is so, as you said, kind of misunderstood and really people are not really aware of it. So thank you so much, everybody, for taking the time actually to come to this session. So I've got a quick presentation and then it really be nice to do questions and answers, I think, because that really will help us, really understand, as Dr. Armida said, what each one of us can do really, to help ourselves in a sense, and how do we help in our communities to help people who have got health-related suffering, how do we reduce that? So I'll just share my screen.
The screen is visible. Yes, great.
Yeah. Is it visible?
Full screen. Yes, done. Yeah.
Great. So, as I said, kind of how do we really understand palliative care? And to do that, I was just thinking back of an example of when I actually had to go to Leh. Now, Leh is at a really high altitude. And, I had to really prepare for that journey. And I asked a few people, and, I suffer actually from a little bit of breathlessness. And I found actually there was some medication that I had to take before I went to Leh that would help me therefore breathe easier. Also, of course, I had to understand what the weather conditions were. And so I could carry enough kind of warm clothes so that I was well prepared when I did reach Leh. Also, when I did reach Leh, I realized that the mobile network was not going to work. I had a Vodafone network that didn't work, and only Airtel worked. And so somebody who was there was able to get me an Airtel SIM card, which I could use, and therefore I could function as well as possible. And also I had people there who knew the local conditions, who knew therefore where I could stay, which was comfortable. And therefore my journey in Leh went very smooth. And really I draw this analogy to sometimes to think about when you have a serious illness. As Dr. Armida said in her last slide, there are a lot of serious illnesses perhaps that we face when we're elderly, ranging from Parkinson's to cancer to dementia. And therefore, palliative care, if it's understood, is really that additional protective layer which helps people manage those symptoms which you have because of that serious illness. And therefore, if you see this image, it's like the rain is there, the weather will always be there. And each one of us may adjust differently to that serious illness and whatever treatment we're taking for that. What palliative care does is provide that little umbrella. It provides that little space so that you can adjust, and it looks at not just the disease, not just the cancer, not just the Parkinson's, but it looks therefore at you as a person. It looks at you as how are you reacting to that? What is it that palliative care professionals can do to help manage the pain, to help manage the breathlessness, the fatigue, perhaps the constipation that may come because of the treatment that you're taking? And therefore, palliative care is really, as I say, this additional layer, and it can start really as early as possible to the diagnosis of that disease. So it is not end of life. End of life is just one part of palliative care. But really, for palliative care to be effective, it has to start right from the beginning. Right from the beginning, when you kind of are adjusting to the news that you have a serious illness, and what does that actually mean for you? Do you have enough information or not? And so when we talk about palliative care, one of the things, therefore, is about it's there to improve our quality of life. And if you look at quality of life, and Dr. Armida has talked about this earlier through the pieces model, is that there's the physical, there's the psychological, the emotional, there's the social, and there's the spiritual. The physical is really important. And, the palliative care teams, therefore, and these are therefore professionals who have trained. Currently, there's an MD in palliative care medicine as well. So they really specialize in understanding how is it that we can help improve quality of life of people with any serious illness? And of course, palliative care is for any age group, right from neonates right up to kind of the elderly as well. And so everybody can qualify for palliative care, whoever has an illness which is going to be chronic, which is going to live with you for a long time. And so you have doctors, you have nurses, you have counselors who are the core part of the team. And then you may have physiotherapists, you'll have dietitians as well, who can help support families and patients so that you adjust to the disease. So if we look at the physical part of it, there is your functional ability. Because the key idea in palliative care is that you can continue being as functional as possible. It looks at your fatigue, your sleep, your nausea, your appetite, and of course, pain. And to do that, they have various scales, they have various techniques, they have various medication, which palliative care physicians will really understand as to how it will interact with the treatment you're already taking, and so to make you as comfortable as possible physically. Because once you're physically able to do things, then your psychological, emotional, and social and spiritual health also improves. The counselors on the palliative care team are really attuned to pick up anxiety, depression, and look therefore at how do you address that emotion, because often it's a serious illness which triggers a number of these kind of latent emotions which may have been there. So it's about talking about it, and really the skill that all trainings in palliative care focus on is on communication, because communication is key, and it's about talking to things that really matter most to you when you want to talk about it, and to have somebody there to do it in a safe way, somebody you feel that you can trust. And the palliative care professionals, the counselors, are really attuned therefore as how do they maintain confidentiality and yet give you advice and really listen to you so that you are able to take those decisions at a time perhaps when you are struggling with many options in front of you. Socially, it's really important as well that palliative care thinks of. You've got social workers there who will help think about, finance is an issue, especially if you're doing treatments perhaps which do require a large amount of finance, and they perhaps link patients and families up to schemes that may be available, or try to find trusts that may be able to support you. Having said this, palliative care, of course, is not a magic wand that can solve all problems, but really it's there to say that we'll journey with you through this illness and try to find solutions together. One of the key things about palliative care is about the caregivers, that, caregivers also face a lot of burden. And this is a branch, therefore, of medicine which says the caregiver also has to be taken care of. What are their needs? Sometimes lifting up patients causes caregivers to have a lot of pains and aches, and nobody really talks about their problems and the issues they are facing. So in palliative care, the professionals will always have perhaps a separate assessment just for the caregiver, to understand, again, according to physically, socially, and spiritually, what are they facing and how can we help support caregivers? Can they get a little bit of respite? There are a number of services that are available who can help, and often these services are free of cost. The foundation that I work for is currently supporting about 40 projects across India, which is providing free of cost palliative care. And this often is extended into people's homes. So people can get this service in your homes by a team coming in to do that. And I'll share more details about how you can access this care later on. So socially, it's really important, especially sometimes when you're worried about appearance, and some of the treatments may cause kind of hair loss, may cause you to put on weight or lose weight. The palliative care professionals actually help you think ahead, help you understand perhaps that this is going to happen, so you're prepared for some of these things. And you can perhaps do things which will help kind of counter or reduce some of that. And often what they have found is, if you can start palliative care early on, people adhere to the treatment better and they get better, and the curative path becomes easier, and they're survivors because they received early palliative care. Because people were able to talk about what was affecting them. Caregivers were able to talk about the stress they were facing, and therefore the caregivers were less stressed while caring for their patient.
I think there's some network. issue, I guess.
And I think these are questions really which help us to reflect on our life, to understand what our meaning of life is. And each one will find their own answers. But I think the palliative care counselors are there to listen, to reflect, and kind of resonate with some of the experiences that they have heard from other people as well, to help each one find your own answer to these questions. And so I'd just like to share now a couple of examples where we have really seen the change happen. And the gentleman you see sitting, and this is his real name, because he's really said, he wants to be a champion for palliative care once this has touched his life. So, when he was 7 years old, and this is from Goa, he was taking part in a play at school, and there was a heavy storm and lightning struck, and he went under the stage to hide. And unfortunately, the stage fell on him, and that left him paralyzed. And he was only on his bed, and he could just get up just for a little bit sitting on his bed. But from the age of 7 to about 32, his world was just that, lying on a bed. And as his mother used to sell fruit and vegetables in the market, and his father, unfortunately, after this episode, he left the family. And so it was the mother who was caring for him. And she would have to take him to hospital because he had a number of infections that came because of a catheter that had been put on. He had to leave school. And this is when about 32 and 2 years ago, when we had a palliative care program that started in South Goa. And he happened to come to the South Goa District Hospital. The palliative care team saw him lying on that stretcher, talked to him, and his mother explained the story. And that's when palliative care got involved in his life. They went back home, they got a physiotherapist to be able to teach him generally, first on the bed, how he could sit up. They got him a wheelchair, so he could sit, as you see now, on the wheelchair. They managed how to teach the mother how to clean the catheter so that those infections didn't come that often. In the last 2 years, and because it's been 2 years since the team has been intervening with him now, he has been able to actually make certain things. He used to cut vegetables with his mother, and his skills and hands were quite good. So he's actually done a small exhibition and sold some greeting cards last Christmas. And, for his mother, that was such a kind of a proud moment to see her son now, who's able to smile, as you see now, and has changed her life as well. So these are few examples. This is one example, I say, which is really a success story. But there are many others in Goa. But however, having said that, there are many others like Edwin, unfortunately, who are in communities who nobody has seen. And therefore, we feel, as Azil said, this is the month actually of World Palliative Care, where we need to get more awareness about palliative care. We may not be able to solve every problem, but at least we get it to people's attention. It's on somebody's agenda that at least something can be done. Because the worst thing, I think, to be told is that nothing more can be done in any disease. And that's the one message we want every doctor or every nurse to say, that something can always be done. In palliative care, we're just changing perhaps the focus. Our goals of care are changing. May not be curative, but it could be to improve quality of life. And that's an important message, which is in all our training programs for healthcare professionals as well. This is another example I'd like to share from Bangalore in NIMHANS. And NIMHANS is the National Institute for Mental Health and Neurology. And they started again palliative care about 4 years ago, having a palliative care unit. So there was a gentleman who had dementia and he had Parkinson's as well. And he came to the palliative care team. He was referred by the neurologist because he was coming frequently to the hospital. He was referred when the palliative care unit started. And the palliative care team there has got a doctor, a nurse, a counselor. They met, they understood what the family situation was. And he lived with his son and his wife, who was therefore caring for him. And she herself had arthritis and vertigo, was on medication. And her husband, was complaining that he felt he thought he would fall often, and he did fall and had a few fractures as well. And so the palliative care team really understood what their needs were. And the needs that were identified were he had difficulty in swallowing and the frequent falls. And of course, for his wife, it was the burden, and there was a bit of conflict in the family as well about what the son thought he should contribute to the family. They met them at the OPD, and that's where palliative care can either be available at the hospital that you're seeing, if that's available, or in at-home care situations as well. So they visited him at his home as well. They understood it, and they really tried to look at a plan for each of these. So for swallowing, for example, the nurse educated the family on how do you take small but frequent diets, the consistency of that food, how do you prevent choking, and what is the best method of feeding the patient. And these are things actually which palliative care professionals are really taught about. How do you look at posture? How do you look to help people be functional best? To prevent falls, as Dr. Armida said, what in the environment can be done on low cost things, not very high cost, you need to do things, but simple things about understanding where is the toilet to where the patient is, who uses the toilet, when is it wet, who needs to clean it, so that you just have few strategies in place so that you reduce these falls from happening. Because in palliative care, professionals are really taught to think ahead of what may happen and how do we try to reduce that. To look at the caregiver is, as things looking at, therefore, is there a bit of respite? Is there some family member she is close to who can come and sit with her husband while she can just take a walk or go to the market and just have some me time for herself? And that's kind of what are the agencies that are available there. But I guess that's for each one of us to see how do we can also support people perhaps who we know in our communities. And of course, while this was going on, the family is still meeting their neurologist. And that's the thing about palliative care. It's not that palliative care will start only once the treating physician says nothing more can be done, which they shouldn't say. But palliative care can go hand in hand with treatment. And therefore, it's really important that each one of us becomes more aware, and we ask perhaps our treating physicians that we're seeing if there are palliative care options available, and then physicians who can talk to us about this aspect of the care. The third example I'd really like to share is from Jodhpur, of somebody who had really a stroke, which had really left him paralyzed again. The team again visited him, and this gentleman already had a Ryle's tube for feeding, had a tracheostomy tube as well to help him in breathing. But all of these caused infections, and they have to keep coming to the hospital. So if you can prevent people from coming to the hospital, that's ideal. If you can help and provide the same quality of care back in their homes, that improves quality of life. So in this case, a physiotherapist did have to visit, and they demonstrated exercises to the caregiver so that they could continue doing this while the patient is at home. And also about wound cleaning. Often it is difficult when bed sores happen. And how do you manage those bed sores is really important so they don't keep growing. And so the caregivers are often taught by the palliative care nurses who do a lot of work, and in fact are some of kind of really the mainstay in palliative care, to help families understand how do you manage oral care, how do you manage wounds, so that once wounds are healed, they don't start fungating smells. And often that sometimes is socially isolating, where the patient feels has a really slow self-esteem because of all these conditions. They don't want people to come and visit them. But if they can feel good about themselves, if the wounds are clean and don't have any foul odor, they are more socially able to relax as well. And there are other things like air mattresses, wheelchairs, dressing materials, medications, which palliative care teams can provide. And as I said, you may have paid palliative care services as well, but there are a lot of free palliative care services, especially in the city. I know maybe from all over the country and outside of India as well. But in the major cities in India now, there are a number of palliative care services which are free of cost, which are able to come and visit people in their homes. So really just looking, therefore, at a palliative care, we have Peanut and Snoopy, and we're saying we only live once, Snoopy. The philosophy that Peanut said is wrong. We only die once, we live every day. And I think that's what palliative care wants to say, that each day is important. And so really palliative care is not just about even a disease. It's really a philosophy of life, I think, which says, is just look at every day. How do we live it to our best? And what do we do to ourselves to take care of ourselves and others? So I'd like to pause here now. And I know Dr. Armida also had some thoughts about how each one of us can play a role. She's already alluded to that, but Dr. Armida, if you could then take over the next part as well.
So, Prakash, how beautifully Prakash told you about what is palliative care and what a patient goes through and what we do as people involved in palliative care. Like I also said, palliative care is trying to relieve the suffering not only of the patient but also the caregiver, and it makes such a difference in the lives of people. I wanted to add to Prakash's story is that we also run the organization runs the Romula Palliative Care. Romula is my daughter who died of cancer, and therefore I got involved in palliative care. But we had a patient in the Ravi slum, that woman, and she was in a terminal stage of cancer, and she was, not doing well at all, and she had no family. So when our team, the doctor, nurse, counselor, started visiting her, do you know what she said? This is the thing that she said. She says, "Thank God I got cancer because for the first time in my life, there are people visiting me and listening to me and trying to take care of me." So, see, this is the difference we make. It doesn't matter that we die, but we are trying to relieve that patient's suffering and what they feel. And therefore, I feel that, Prakash has also said there's a role for each one of us. So, if any of you all here have patients who would need not only the older people, but the previous one, uh, uh, you can be a caregiver, you can do something for the patient, you can be a volunteer. Therefore, every one of you all, I think the take home message of today's talk is what we're trying to do. Whoever you are, wherever you are, you don't have to have degrees or know things. You can be a volunteer to try, identify it, even refer it to a palliative center. If they can afford it, a free service like Prakash is available in most cities. Of not, there are also paying facilities. So you can volunteer to refer or look after. The third is you can get the whole community involved. Okay, next, Prakash. So I think what we do is that we need to involve, like I had showed this picture, as an individual, as families, as neighbors, as friends, as community, come together because there's a difference we have to make in the life. See, we have been blessed with, we have been blessed with intellect. We are all on Zoom. We are talking. We are listening. We are increasing our knowledge, and each one of you all are doing such wonderful things in your life. But you can add to it by looking at the elders, by looking at patients who are suffering of diseases that can never get cured. You can listen, you could go and visit, you could go and listen, you can refer this patient where is needed, but you don't need even listening to them or even taking, like Prakash said, in the wheelchair, that family is so tired of looking after that patient. Say, why don't you go for the walk? Why don't you go for the movie? I'll stay 2, 3 hours with that patient. I think this is what our role can be in life. Reach out to that. Maybe you don't have to do it every day. You don't have to do it even once a week. But maybe on a Sunday when you're free, maybe once in 2 weeks. And if you have the community around, you can get community people involved. So each one does a little thing to make such a difference in the lives of people. Next. And I think this slide is for caregivers. Some of us, I don't know how many of you all, are caregivers to patients at home. You have old people in your house, you have a bedridden person in your house, you have a paralyzed patient, someone who's suffering from a chronic life limiting disease, and you're caught up with that. So you are the caregiver and you're trying to improve the quality of life of that patient. But if you are doing that all the time, and we know enough people, Prakash and I, then the problem, the caregiver can have a burnout. That caregiver can get depressed. That caregiver is tired of looking after his patient. So we say, if you're a caregiver, first do self-care. If you say, people who have given up their jobs, no, I can't go, I have to resign from my job, I have to look after my patient at home. Don't do that, because if you do that, spend as much time as you can for the patient. Get help from outside. You can get paid help from outside, that you can put cameras to make sure that they are looking after the patient well. You can help so you can continue your work. I know, because I've been through such situations all my life, that if you continue to work, your mind is occupied and yet you can be there for your care patient and ask for help. I said you can have a paid caregiver. We feel bad to ask your neighbor, can you give me half an hour of your time? I have to run to the market, just buy something. Your neighbor may be, but you feel bad to ask. Ask. The ask and you receive. So ask your neighbor, ask your friends. What are friends for? Not just to go out to socialize, to go for a movie. Help friends are there to help you when you need, and of course your relatives. So try and get help. Take breaks, whatever you're doing. Take breaks and spend some time doing what gives you pleasure. What gives me pleasure is watching a sunset, watching a beautiful tree moving and so that even that mental peace of mind that you can have, or something else that gives you pleasure. Watch a comedy, watch someone that makes you laugh, Charlie Chaplin or whatever, some humorous, or do something that gives you pleasure. And most important, if you don't feel guilty. Many of them say, I wish I had done this, wish I had done that. That guilty feeling makes you feel worse and your life is miserable. And most important is, you have to know regrets of if someone in your family passes away, and sooner, your mother, father, in-laws, brother, sister, you should have no regret. Right? And I think our message, what Prakash's message and my message, both for looking after the elders or palliative care, is we cannot finally change the outcome. The person who will has the disease will have, people will grow older, will have their problems. Finally, people may pass away sooner or later. Life has to come. If you're born, then sooner or later we have to die. But we can impact the journey. Your journey will be much better if it can help affect the journey of that older person, of that palliative patient who needs. I think it will make your life worthwhile. So thank you so much listening to us, and we are both there. Whatever questions you want to ask, we'll be only too happy to reply.
Thanks, Doctor. This is Jambunathan. I have raised 2 questions in the chat box. Can you just look at them and answer me, Doctor?
So
I have raised 2 questions.
Can you read out the question?
So I can read out. See, one question is that, can you kindly share the locations of these palliative care homes in various cities in India? Where can we get? That is number 1 question, Doctor. And number 2 question is, Doctor, I am already a volunteer in Nimmans. I am doing volunteering work for the geriatric patients. I myself is a geriatric man. But anyway, I am also helping geriatric people. But I just like to know what is the palliative care volunteering opportunities available. I will definitely try to do something on that, Doctor.
Prakash will do, but I want to say congrats. You are a role model. You're already a volunteer doing for the seniors, and now what you want to know. So Prakash, where can he get the
Yes.
names of
So
the?
I will actually share it with Aziel. You know, the Sat number, Aziel, I told you about last time. It's a one number where people can call in, and because we keep updating that list. And we've got
Which is the number, Doctor? Dr.
okay, I'll tell
Prakash?
you now. I'll put it on chat as well. It's 1-800.
That will be very nice of you. That will
I'll
be
put
nice
it on
of you.
chat. It's 1-800-202-7777. Actually, we wanted a number with 7 sevens to make it Sat. That's what it's called. But unfortunately, we had to put 202 in between, and there are 4 sevens. So
1800. 1800 is it? 1800
I'll
202
put it on the chat. So you have
Correct,
it. You can call that number, and they will guide you as to the nearest palliative care center to where you are.
Oh, that's great, great. That's the Government of India number, Doctor, or?
So no, it's an initiative actually. As I said, I work for Cipla Foundation. We have about 40 projects providing free of cost palliative care across the country. All these organizations have come together to start this helpline. So currently, the services that are free of cost are more available in metro cities because that's where currently we are at. But having said that, there are a lot of organizations working with government and perhaps, in more rural areas, like in Goa, I said, they're working very closely in South Goa with the community health, the CHOs. So there, you can get it in the community. So some places it's more accessible, in others it is not. But anybody can call that number at least for advice. There's in Kerala, they've got a lot of palliative care actually, and a lot in the south, a lot of palliative care centers. So you could link up to there. So wherever the patient is, the idea is to try to link them up to the nearest center. There's also some palliative care telemedicine that happens through Pallium India, an organization in the south. So people who can't reach a center can speak to a palliative care doctor on the phone.
Correct, Doctor. Thank you.
Yeah, if you can call that would be great. And just coming to a question on NIMHANS, the project there is with the Psychiatric Social Work Department. And so if I get your details, I'll be really happy to link you up to them. They would really be very appreciative of volunteers coming in.
Yeah, in fact, I do volunteering for Geriatrics Department of Geriatric Unit of NIMHANS.
Okay.
We do have various Zoom meetings in English, in Kannada, and in Tamil, 3 languages. So it's an alternative week every Monday between 4 and 5 p.m. So in that, I do many of the occasions I'm the moderator for that. And some of the occasions I do, because when I introduce the speaker and whatever be the questions that people have, I act as an interface between the people and the speaker. So this is how I have been doing for the last more than 3 years. I'm retired from as a senior officer from State Bank of India. In fact, I'm doing it for a quite good long time. So it's working very well. And even when some of the seniors find they are not able to get good medical advice or something like that, we take them there. In fact, once upon a time, I used to visit along with the NIMHANS doctors to various old age centers. But nowadays, I'm not able to do that because I'm already 78.
No, that's I think that's really wonderful. And one thing I didn't mention was about the power of support groups. That often having peers come together to discuss issues. We found that especially with cancer, breast cancer survivors, people with Parkinson's, it really helps when you can do exercises often in a group, and it's really very level for people to understand that these issues sometimes are not just me, they are others. So connecting, being facilitators for peer support groups are really important.
Yes, Doctor. Thank you. I have already shared my mail ID as well as my number in the chat.
Yeah.
My name is Jambunathan. I have shared my mail ID and I have shared my mobile number also, Doctor. I am available to you for anything, Doctor. Thank you. I stay at Bangalore. I am available to you. Whichever is possible, I'll support you, Doctor. We have also a small group of people. Not only I do that, these people also help me to doing that. So we organize ourselves and do something, Doctor. But not very great. But anyway, it's something.
Thank you so much. And I think Dr. Prakash may get in touch with you. We also have Priya Mohan who has raised her hand. Do you have a question, Priya?
Yes. Hi, Aziel. It was a wonderful session, and I'm very keen on joining your group. My question was for Mr. Prakash, Dr. Prakash Fernandes. I stay in Powai, and I've been very active in social space for last 23 years. And I was, just to give you a brief background, I was awarded the Corona Warrior Award by the Governor of Maharashtra for all the extensive work that I did. So, in short, I have been very closely associated with hospitals, patients, young kids, and elders. So, I have created a senior citizen group in my community and adjoining areas wherein we provide support to the elderly people, because we don't want them to feel lonely. Because I experienced during COVID that there were a lot of elderly people who are staying alone and their kids are abroad. So the only support they can offer is financial support. So physical, mental, emotional support is really lacking in their lives. So we wanted to create a group which can help them. Being in the social space, what I struggle with is the financial assistance, because Dr. Prakash can guide me. A lot of people, like my father-in-law, passed away with cancer last year, and we I know how expensive the treatment was. I've had several rounds of Tata Memorial Hospital, and I'm associated with Basanta Memorial Trust. But I feel there are a lot of people even in the middle class society who are not able to afford the treatment. Forget about the palliative care. So palliative care, it was very enlightening to know that there is a agency which does free palliative care. That was, I think, a big takeaway from this talk today for me. But how do we go about providing some kind of financial assistance to these people, especially the elderly people, in their treatment process? And also, there is a dearth of doctors who do home visit. Because I'm sorry, this is a unrelated question, but what I struggle with, all those 300, 400 people that I deal with, most of them are homebound. Now, if for any illness, they need to go to a clinic or an OPD or a hospital for being treated. Now, they ask me, is there somebody who can come home? And the doctors are so busy that it is a problem for them to visit a patient. So how do we handle that? So these two are my questions.
Yes. No. Thank you, Priya. I think, they're both very pertinent questions. The first one on finance, I think is an issue common. And, on the helpline, we do get a number of calls related to this. And, often it is people who can link up to some government schemes that we've been able to help. We work a lot, as you said, with Tata Memorial Hospital. So anything in oncology, we refer there, and they try to do, depending on the income criteria that they have, they're able to provide support to those patients. We do have a list of trusts that do help for certain conditions, So, we know that for example, on thalassemia, we know somebody who will support that. So sometimes we're able to link up people to certain groups, but often that is a gap. Sometimes we just try to find out where they can perhaps get their medications at a cheaper price. Right? We can't do everything as well. So, we're able to support in some ways financially, but I think, given without insurance, it is a big problem in terms of finance. Dr. Armida could add on to that question. In terms of the home care as well, I agree there are not very few doctors who really come. For palliative care, there are teams. In Mumbai, actually, we're really blessed that we have teams who will visit people with cancer or with non-cancer in their homes, To just qualify for palliative care, however, it's not just like, you want a physiotherapist and then only palliative care can come. Palliative care would be applicable for a chronic illness, and it's a more complex issue where it requires an integrated approach. And that's when the palliative care team would visit that family. But I will share that, as you said, that number that I've shared will be able to connect you, as Dr. Armida has Romila Palliative Care, who does home care. So maybe Dr. Armida, you could add on as well.
No, I think it's so nice to hear that you are looking after senior citizens in Hawaii. And I wish there were more people who take the trouble to visit. But I'm sure if there are 400 people that you are looking after, many of these seniors that are homebound and all, it's not that they are poor and they are in the slums. They must be so many of them would have children who are abroad or children who are working. So I think the first type of support you need to get is from existing children or parents. The second thing is depending on what communities, where you can get support. Prakash said that if you have an orange ration card, there are a number of government schemes that can offer support. And if there are certain diseases or especially for hospitalization, not if they are homebound, but if you need hospitalization, there are a number of government schemes that can offer, and you have to have the red ration card. You've got to take your Aadhaar card. You have to go to hospitals that are registered under that, and you can get. The third is for medication. You need to get in touch with trust, but trust won't go if you're as an individual and they're home based. They won't give. If you go to the hospital, you meet the social worker there, and the social worker then refers you to a trust. But it's a lot of trouble. Again, as a volunteer, you would have to help them to go to the trust and get. If there are some of the temples help with patients, and again, you have to get a letter from the hospital saying these are the drugs, medications required, and then you can go to some temples. There are churches that the church has some, if they get a letter from the parish priest, they can help with the patient's hospitalization. And so you can have, there's a whole lot of list of people, but it is not easy. What we do is that in our palliative care, for example, we get individuals. I've realized that we are doing in the city of Mumbai, if you're doing good work and people recognize you're doing good work, then they will offer their services. And for example, in the Ramla Palliative Care, we work with other slum dwellers who are really living hand to mouth. They don't have. So there are people who will give diapers. There'll be people who give rations. There are some people who would help with medication and things like that. So you can get help from there. If it's a cancer patient, of course, many people support cancer. So there are a whole lot of trust starters included. Social worker will help. That will help you get. So to get the doctor's visits in the house, it is not easy because general practitioners, and they charge a lot. It's not only. If they're affording patients, there are some hospitals that today are offering services. I don't know about Powai. If Hiranda Nani hospital offers home services at a certain cost, but it is not free of cost. So it is difficult. You have to get a list of general practitioners in Powai. If you get the list of general practitioners, and through the Indian Medical Association, you can go Google Indian Medical Association Powai. You will get a list of doctors, and then you look at the list of general practitioners, and those are the general practitioners that may come for a house visit. And therefore, you have to get in touch with them before, check what their fees are, because I know today they charge a lot for this. But for palliative care, yes, there are organizations, not only ours, but other organizations also that offer. But in certain areas, unfortunately, Prakash, we don't cover Powai. So Powai is not in ours. But there are other organizations that may be able to cover.
So, Dr. Armida, thank you so much. And Dr. Prakash, I'm really grateful to both of you for answering my query. And I would want your permission to keep in touch so that I can seek guidance from you for my activities. Second thing I wanted to request Azel, that taking this session forward, I felt that there is a need of guiding people on how to make better investment choices at a younger age, especially the people in the middle class and the lower middle class strata of society, so that they have proper insurance, proper investments, government schemes, some kind of guidance which they lack. Because if they do it now, when they get old, like 60, 70, 80 years of age, they can actually utilize that money for their treatment, which they actually they suffer.
Thank you so much, Priya. Yeah, at WICCI, like we have organized quite a few financial lessons, sessions, quite intensive sessions. And yes, in the future as well, we'll be organizing a lot of sessions with respect to finances and even health insurance. So yeah, in the pipeline. So thank you so much. We have Lekha who had raised her hand. Lekha, do you have a question or would you like to say something?
First of all, I would like to thank you, Hazel. You've been conducting such amazing programs, webinar programs, which I've been attending, except for one which I missed. Thank you to Dr. Armida Fernandez. Your talk was something out of this world. It was so informative, so simple. Simple words
Thank you.
that lay people like us could understand what you were trying to say. And Dr. Prakash Fernandes, thank you to you also. Palliative care is something which I've been very interested in. Because for me, whenever the family members, anybody would fall sick, they used to say, call Lekha. She's very good at taking care of people and all that. It's something, I don't know, it's something inborn in me. But I've not actually gone like how you said to go ahead and meet. But I would like to do something in Bangalore, doctor, like, go read to people who are in bed or, something which they like. I'm not a professional, so I can't give them physiotherapy or nursing or anything. But anything else, apart from that, doctor, if anybody needs, please keep my name in your diary in Bangalore. I can always go spend some time with them, speak to them, make them laugh, talk to them. And if they want little movement, hold them, take them out. Those things I'm definitely there to help out. That's the main thing why I raised my hand. One was to thank you all, and the other one was to say that if anytime you think that you need my services or any of this apart from the medical thing, I'm always there in Bangalore City. So you can always connect. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Ms. Lekha. Actually, in Bangalore, there's also an organization called Karunashray.
I know Karunashray. That's on the old airport road.
That's the Marthahalli. Yes.
Yeah, Marthahalli for cancer patients.
Correct. And therefore, if you visit it, they're always looking out for volunteers to come.
Definitely.
Yeah. So we do support them as well. So if you need any further connection, do let me know.
Yeah, I would need connections because if I need to go and meet or what it is. Can I drop my number in the chat
Please do.
box?
Yeah, and I'll get it from Easy.
I will drop my number
What
in the
we
chat
can
box.
also do, I was just thinking that along with the toll-free number, I think we can also share volunteering opportunities because some of them here itself are so eager. So if we could maybe city-wide share some volunteering opportunity phone numbers. I'm not sure if it's possible or not. I'm just asking if that.
We've got a list of organizations. Then each organization will have different, how they manage volunteers differently and what their needs are at that time. So it would be good to connect there. But just coming back, also, I know you're interested in, there are a number of training programs for volunteers as well. So I know some are online as well. So if you really wanted to understand more how to be a more like a volunteer in palliative care, I could link you up to some organizations. As I mentioned about Pallium India, they do an online volunteering course for palliative care.
I'm interested.
So I'll share those opportunities as well. Yeah,
I put in my number in the chat box.
Yeah.
And once again, thank you for the work that you all have been doing. It is a blessing. And I hope and I pray that you stay blessed every day.
Thank you so much. I wanted to add that you don't have to really, yes, you can join an organization and all, But even as an individual, you can reach out to people within your surroundings, your neighbors, your neighborhood, your mates, whoever works in the mali you walk, even when you're walking, whoever you are around you, as an individual, you can do so much. It is if you keep your eye open and you don't have to have a lot of knowledge. Even if you listen to people's problems, people don't have the time. Even if you stop and listen, yes, and you don't have to give advice also. You just say, yes, I understand. Even that would be a great thing. So you even as an individual within your home, whoever is within your home, your relatives, your neighbors, your maids, their families, you can do so much as a volunteer.
Thank you.
I cannot give it more. It's a beautiful statement, and I take the less I know.
Mr. Jambunathan and me are part of a yoga group also. In the evening now, today we
Yes.
have a session, pranayam and meditation session. So we are part of that group also. And Nagaraj, Hazel, last time he had joined, remember?
Yes.
Yes, we are all part of one group. And Mr. Jambunathan is very well connected with NIMHANS.
Very nice. So maybe we
Well
can
connected
have
with
some more sessions with Nimant's
Yes,
related experts as well.
Mr. Jambunathan arranges a lot of sessions with NIMHANS doctors.
Nice. Then we could plan something in the future then.
Yes, you can tap him.
I think it's
for-
already 6:30 and it was almost a session. So I will not not like to take it much beyond this. Someone was super excited the moment I said that Dr. Armida is taking a session. So I would like to invite that someone. She really danced. She was overjoyed to know that, and she was like, Dr. Armida is my mentor. I want to be in touch."
Oh, God.
So for inviting Nandini Cardosa, who is our National Council member, for vote of thanks.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Armida. Thank you, Dr. Prakash, for a wonderful session. We've enjoyed every bit of the information that you have shared. It's definitely going to help us in all that we do. Thank you for doing whatever you are doing and making a difference to the community. Thank you, Hazel, for organizing this session. Thank you to the WICCI team members, everyone who has shown up. Thank you very much. Have a great evening.
So thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Our pleasure. Lovely to see you.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes, Dr. Armida. Yeah, she was super excited. So I was like, okay, you need to do the vote of thanks then. So I would also like to thank Ravi, one of our National Council members' husband, who helped us in today's Zoom session. So thank you so much, Ravi, for helping out. So it's not only our council members, but even their spouses and family members who are engaged to ensure that we all are able to do a seamless session. So thank you so much. Dr. Armida, from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much. I think the first question, not first question, but one of the questions that Dr. Armida asked was, how many participants are we expecting? And I was like, on an average, 50. But because it's on palliative care, I am not sure. New topic, we are not aware. So she was like, even if it's 10 people, it's fine. We'll do it. So thank you so much, Dr. Armida, for that confidence and just being with us always. Dr. Prakash, I think thank you so much. You were the one who weaved all of us together. And your expertise outshined the entire presentation. Thank you so much for both of yours valuable time. Thank you, my council members, for joining in, even though it's Diwali time. You all ensured that you all are part of the session, and all the participants, thank you for being here, learning together, growing together, because it's not about, we may or may not be able to add years to our life, but I'm sure with sessions like this, we will be able to add life to the years that we have. So thank you, one and all. And the recording of today's session will be posted shortly. So please do be active. Continue being in our WhatsApp group because there are quite a few sessions being planned on varied aspects of elderly and family dynamics. So yes, continue. And thank you so much once again. God bless. And have a very blessed Sunday evening.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, Dr.
Thank
Fernandez,
you.
just keep me in mind. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Hello.